Hi there, Wade here, and in this video series we're going to talk all about views, subviews, and navigating between those views. We're going to use a brand new SwiftUI app, but before we start talking about that, let's just kind of talk about views and subviews real quick. What is a view? First off, I'm going to move myself over. Let's bring the weather app into it, okay? Here's the weather app. And what you see here is the first view in the weather app, which shows the forecast conditions right now in New York City, where I'm at. This is a view. Now you see all sorts of elements inside here. Text, images, right? There's temperatures, there's all sorts of stuff going on in here. These are all views as well. Now these would be subviews of a view. A subview is basically a small view, and a bunch of subviews can create the components of a larger view, all right? Now if we see here, there's a little area down below where it shows the forecast for multiple days. This would be its own little view with multiple subviews in that. There's a list view in here showing different days of the week. There are images, there's text, there's all sorts of stuff. If we want to navigate to another view, let's tap on today, and you'll see that it takes us over to basically all of the data for today. This is the today view, right, of the weather app. And inside here you see a whole bunch of other subviews and views as well. This is how you create your UI. Essentially everything in a SwiftUI app is a view, all the way from the first view you see that's like a white box when your app is just beginning, to all the text views, and then when you tap on something and go to another view, you'll have that view, and then you'll have subviews in there. Everything is a view. Texts are views, images, right? Buttons, sliders, all those elements, those are all views that you will create in your app to make views. If you hear the ambulance, it's right outside my window here. All right, so let's get into it. Let's mess around with the SwiftUI app, and I'm going to show you kind of how everything is a view, and we'll play around with it a bit. So if you're following along, this is just a brand new SwiftUI app. I'm in Mac Playgrounds. This entire video series will be done in Mac Playgrounds. And I just created a basic app. You'll see that it starts out the way they always start out, with an image and text, right? And over in the preview, you're going to see the hello world, and you're going to see the image right there. Cool? I'm going to make myself a little smaller, and I'll place myself here. So inside here, you can let's kind of break it down a little bit. Inside of this content view, which is a view in itself, we have a struct called content view. That's important. We'll talk about that later. And it is of type view. And actually, the struct is adhering to the view protocol. And inside of there, we have a variable that we've called body. And that is going to produce some view. Inside there we have a VStack, which is a view as well, and that VStack helps us organize other subviews vertically. If it was an HStack, it would be horizontally. And inside there we have an image view that has the globe image, different scale and different property wrappers there to change what it looks like. And then under the image we have a text view that has some text that's called hello world, right? So these are subviews of the VStack view, and the VStack view is a subview of the body view, right? And then that all makes up the entire struct content view. Now, how does the app know to show this view? Well, it all starts in the My App file, which we have not talked about yet, so let's talk about it. If I go into My App, this is where every iPhone app starts, okay? Everything starts with @import SwiftUI, so it knows to use SwiftUI code in order to generate stuff. But it really starts at this @main. @main tells your phone, tells the devices, this is where the code starts in this app. And inside there's a struct called My App, and it adheres to the app protocol. You don't need to know anything about that, but just know that that's where it starts. Inside of the app protocol is a variable called body that is going to produce some scene. You don't need to know a lot about scene, but just know that it is kind of a type of view. Inside there is a window group. So this is a group of different views, okay? And in here you'll see a content view. Now that content view is the content view that we've created right here. It is literally displaying this view, okay? So one thing that we could do just to mess around with this, since this is a window group, we could add more views into it. So just for fun, let's do another content view. Let's just see what happens if we do two of them. In the preview, you're going to see it update with 2 hello worlds. It's essentially showing 2 content views, okay? So you're starting to get the idea of how these views and subviews work. The whole app starts with a view, and we show the content view. If you want to show more views there. It's a group, it's a list of different views, all right? Now check this out. If I remove this content view here, we can go back in here and we'll start here. Content view is a view file. It's created one for us from the start so that we have something to work with here, but it doesn't stop there. We can create more views, and those views can be housed in more files. Just like content view, we can create another file. Now in Mac Playgrounds, the way you do that is you go to File, New Source File. If we were in Xcode, we would do File, New File, and it'd be a Swift file, okay? But do New Source File if you're following along, and you'll see a new file here. Let's call this one New View, okay? I'll hit Enter, and you'll see I have New View. Now there's no code in there yet, so we need to create some. If we look at Content View as an example, we'll notice that we're going to create a struct content view with some view. We're going to create body, some view. We're going to follow along with sort of the same structure because we're just essentially creating a new view. So let's go ahead and let's do that. So it's going to be struct content view, and we'll return to this file as we go. So it'd be struct, and instead of content view, let's call it new view. That's the name of our file. And that is going to be of type view. And let's open it up. And then let's see what's the next thing. Okay, it's a variable. They call it body, some view. Let's go ahead and do the same. Let's do var. We'll call it body. And it's going to be some view. It's going to return some view. Let's open that up. Now we should get an error that says, you did not return anything yet. There it is, missing return, you haven't returned some view. So we need to return a view. We need to put any view in here. Now just like in content view, you have an image or a text view, let's go ahead and add another one. Let's add in new view, let's do a text view. And inside there, let's say this is my new view, okay? Now we've created a new view. That's all we need to do. It's going to return a view that has this text subview in it. And you'll see that there's nothing on the preview screen yet. Why? We haven't used the new view yet. So one cool way that we can use it is we could go into content view, for example, and underneath this text here, we could just add the new view we created. And look at the preview. This is my new view. It creates it right there. Cool? Now something else we could do if we remove it from here is we could go to the My App, and just like in the window group where we say show the content view when you start the app, we could say show a new view as well. And now look what happens. New world, this is my new view. Now just for fun, watch this. Let's say do another content view. Let's look and see what happens now. Hello world, this is my new view, hello world, right? So it's listing out the views. So depending on how you want to show your views and where you want to show your views, this is how you manipulate it. This is just to show you the difference of like what's going on when it comes to all these views. Again, everything in a SwiftUI app is a view, and we're going to place these views accordingly in order to build the user interface of our app. So now that you know about views and kind of subviews, we're going to get into subviews in much more detail here in the next video. So with that, I will see you in the next video.